I accidentally scorched a handsome guy's down jacket while burning incense at the temple. I thought I was about to be saddled with a debt of a whopping 108,000. Turns out he became my direct boss. He not only let me pay it back in installments over 5 years, he even drove me home after the company dinner. But the next morning, I woke up in his bed, and the hickeys all over me sent me into a full-on panic, only to hear him say they'd be added to my installment bill. I was praying and burning incense at the temple when I literally burned 3 holes in the down jacket of the guy in front of me. "Hey, excuse me." He turned back, already impatient. "Go on, what do you want? WeChat or a phone number?" I braced myself. Alipay. I'm broke on WeChat. Who wears a jacket that expensive to a temple? Seriously. Staring at my balance 4 digits left, I regretted everything. My family isn't poor, but my parents live by the rule that you're out of the house at 18. After my sister and I finished the college entrance exam, we were kicked out to work. Even tuition had to come from our own savings. 4 years of college, I was the poster child for broke. Upside was, no one ever tried to borrow from me. Little by little, I saved a few thousand. But that jacket's brand isn't even on Taobao. You have to line up at the store to pre-order. My savings wouldn't even cover the deposit. I called Kristen. "Sis, you gotta save me." "Not now. I've got a mortgage, no extra cash to lend. If you hadn't dragged me to pray for love this morning, I wouldn't have poked holes in a stranger's coat. Did I tell you to squeeze up to the God of Wealth Hall? I said it'd be packed. Seize. Figure it out yourself." Beep, beep, beep. Maybe his jacket's fake? Who told you that? Crap, what if it really is a knockoff? I bounced off the bed, giddy. I probed. "So, how much is it?" 108,000. H. "How much?" "Sorry to disappoint you. I don't do knockoffs. Can I pay in installments?" After my pathetic pleading, we settled on 1,800 a month. Even without interest, that's 5 years of payments. After graduation, I joined a subsidiary of the Smith Group. The probation salary was only 4,500 a month. In pricey Haicheng, my share of rent and utilities was already 2,000. Great, subtract the 1,800 debt payment, and I had 700 left to live on. When I clocked in that morning, the receptionist kept giving me a weird look. She looked at me like she wanted to say something but didn't. "What? Is my makeup smudged?" She shook her head and sighed. "Good luck." I swung my breakfast crepe and stepped into the elevator. Odd this time of day, it's usually packed. Today, it was empty. "Isabel, why are you only just getting here?" "What? I've still got 5 minutes. Didn't you check your email?" Starting this week, work time moved up by half an hour. I almost sprayed Janbing everywhere. Cough, cough, what? Someone rapped the partition beside me. "Bell, Mr. Smith wants you in his office." I dropped the breakfast, grabbed a napkin to wipe my mouth, and bolted to the 18th floor with my notebook and pen. Through the glass, I saw a man in a sharp suit sitting in the boss's chair. I hesitated, then knocked. "I'm just a fresh grad. Surely Mr. Smith won't make it hard on me." He looked up slightly when I came in. "Isabel!" At the sound of his voice, I rushed over eagerly. "Yes, Mr. Smith. What can I do for you?" "Nothing much. Just letting you know my name is Jason Smith. Also, remember to pay this month's 1,800. "Okay, 1,008, huh?" I lurched forward, practically in his face. You're the 108,000 guy from the God of Wealth Hall yesterday." So the little stutterer remembers. Jason's eyes were ink black as he stared straight at me. On impulse, I touched the tiny mole at the corner of his eye. The second my fingertip brushed his skin, we both froze. In my panic, my left leg tangled with my right and I fell straight into his arms. Afraid I'd hit the desk, Jason lifted a hand to shield the back of my head. He let out a tight breath of pain. "Tss. Mr. Smith, are you okay?" Jason glared at me. "Isabel, could you remove your hand first?" My hand was planted squarely on the left side of his chest. If I say it was an accident, would you believe me? I scrambled off him, half crawling. For the record, I should defend him. His body is seriously built. I don't know who started that rumor in the department group chat that Jason's a scrawny beanpole. What a load of trash. When my palm pressed down, there was actual resistance. That springy give, that's dangerously addictive. At some point, a crowd had gathered at the doorway. They stood there, gaping. Jason adjusted his shirt collar, slow and unhurried, buttoning the one I'd rubbed open. If not for the faint red tinge on his ears, I'd have been fooled by that impassive face. I lowered my voice. Mr. Smith, I'll get going. And approve my friend request on WeChat. Oh, as I walked past the cluster of managers, I could feel all the curious eyes burning into my back. Mr. Smith, I even thoughtfully closed the door for them on my way out. The department group chat was exploding. Anna was spamming my DMs. Belle, you still alive? Yep. All good. A second later, Jason in the big group. Isabel from Division 3 was late today. Please email me a written explanation. Even on probation, you still need to follow company rules. And one more reminder. No strong-smelling breakfasts in the office, like savory crepes, for example. I looked at the now cold crepe at my elbow and fell silent. Here I was, thinking he wasn't so bad. Turns out he'd been waiting to nail me. To celebrate the new GM, Mr. Smith took the whole company out to dinner that night. I parked myself in a corner, head down, eating more and talking less. Jason really went big. This place wasn't cheap, and the table was piled with my favorite seafood. A smooth, magnetic voice sounded behind me. Let's keep pushing this year. A toast to everyone in Division 3 on behalf of the company. I had no idea when Jason had come to stand behind me. He raised his glass in salute and downed it. My co-workers stood up to follow suit. I grabbed my glass, filled it to the brim, and joined in. He moved on, and I was just about to sit down when Emily topped off my wine and dragged me over to Jason. Mr. Smith, about Belle's mistake today, please don't take it to heart. Jason's eyes slid to me. Lightly, he said. Just don't do it again. Emily pinched me. Hard. Apologized to Mr. Smith. I held up my glass and stepped forward. Jason, Mr. Smith, I deeply apologize for being late this morning. To show my sincerity, I'll punish myself with 3 shots of white. No, I'll drink 3 to you as an apology. 3 shots of white liquor later. Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes from the burn. When I looked up, Jason's dark gaze met mine, and I could have sworn there was a flicker of amusement in his eyes. With my head spinning, I quietly followed Emily back to the table. Anna was the first to notice something was off. She gently rubbed my head. Belle, did you drink too much? I nodded dumbly, smiling. She took away the glass in front of me. I stood up, confused, trying to grab it back, but the next second, she handed me a glass of fresh orange juice. Drink this. I obediently sat back down and sipped at it. Then, out of nowhere, the emotions hit me, and I threw my arms around her, sobbing. Mummy, I feel so miserable. My outburst made half the restaurant turn to stare. Emily rushed over. What happened all of a sudden? She's drunk. What? After only 4 glasses? Anna sighed, wrapping her arm around me. Yeah. Forget it. We'll be here for hours anyway. Why don't you call her family to come get her? Anna leaned close, gently wiping my tears. Belle, let's go home, okay? I closed my eyes and mumbled. Okay. Good night, Mum. Good girl. After a while, Anna patted my cheek and tried to lift my head. Belle, open your eyes. She unlocked my phone, and I shakily lifted my hand to tap the pinned contact. The WeChat call connected, and I pressed it to my ear. Mummy, Belle feels awful. I want to go home. Woo. There was a pause on the other end. Isabel, what nonsense are you talking about? Woo! My brain was pure mush. I just wailed into the phone, not forming a single coherent word. Sitting beside me, Anna couldn't take it anymore and snatched the phone. Hello, ma'am. Belle's drunk. Could you come pick her up? After a long pause, a low male voice came through. Drunk? Anna froze, stunned, then cautiously asked, Mr. Smith? Yeah, it's me. Please keep an eye on her. I'm on my way. Jason arrived fast. The moment I saw him, my lips quivered, and the tears I'd barely stopped started falling again. He walked up and sighed, bending down. You little drunkard. I wiped my face and reached out to him. Hubby. Hug. Jason chuckled softly, wrapped an arm around me, and with one effortless motion, lifted me into his arms. Emily jumped in surprise, hesitated, then stepped forward. Mr. Smith? You too? Still holding me, Jason nodded at her. We know each other. I'll take Isabel home. On the way to the parking lot, I couldn't behave touching, pinching, poking. When my hand slipped under his shirt again, Jason lost his patience. He grabbed both my wrists and tossed me into the back seat. Ow! I yelped, struggling to sit up. Jason leaned over, pinning my wrists against my chest. Then he lowered his head and kissed me rough. Not gentle at all. A moment later, he pulled away, resting his forehead weakly against my neck. You little menace. Still pretending you don't know me. As he started to get up, I grabbed his collar and slurred. No drunk driving. Police say drink, don't drive. Drive, don't drink. He actually laughed, exasperated. I didn't drink. It was water. Jason tried prying my fingers off, but no luck. The more he pulled, the tighter I clung. Eventually, I just looped both arms around his neck. Sighing, Jason gave up and called his assistant Carlos. When Carlos opened the car door, I was squirming in Jason's arms. Mr. Smith, I can't see anything. Drive to my place. Isabel, if you keep wriggling, I swear I'll toss you out. Jason fished a charging cable from his pocket and tied my wrists with it. Even then, I whimpered and burrowed into his chest. I'm a little fragrant piggy. Yeah, little piggy. Woo! Hubby Piggy's hands hurt. Blow on them. Jason stiffened, then sighed, undoing the makeshift binding with a trace of guilt. His cool fingertips brushed the red marks on my wrists, rubbing them gently. I flapped my hands, lifted them near my cheek, and made a heart with my fingers. Thank you, hubby. Love you. As if that wasn't enough, I leaned in and planted a loud kiss on his cheek. Pfft, Carlos, at the wheel, couldn't hold it in. He burst out laughing, his hand twitching on the steering wheel. Sorry, Mr. Smith. Jason's face darkened. He loosened his tie, then used it to bind my wrists again. Leaning close to my ear, he muttered through gritted teeth. Stay tied, you little pork skewer. I woke in the middle of the night, my throat bone dry. Sitting up abruptly, eyes still shut, I groped for the glass on the nightstand and gulped down the water. Want more? Came a voice. Instinctively, I nodded. A beat later, I realized there shouldn't be a man in my house. A man! My eyes flew open and met Jason's still sleeping, handsome face. Shit! Got up too fast, hallucinating my creditor. I rubbed my eyes, but he was still there, quietly lying beside me. No, something must be wrong with my posture. I shut my eyes again and slid back under the blanket. Slowly, I sat up again, then opened my eyes. He was still there. Damn. Maybe it's my angle this time? I was about to burrow back in when Jason lifted the blanket off me, his voice rough with sleep. Isabel. What? Got fleas in my bed or something? Under the weight of his authority, my voice trembled. No, it's just, my hemorrhoids burst. Yeah, they burst. What the hell am I even saying? My brain had crashed completely. Is it too late to regret this? Jason, though, actually took it seriously. He went pale and sat right up, half dressing as he got to his feet. Wait here. I'll grab a few things, we're going to the hospital. I panicked, jumping up to block him. No, it's fine. But Jason still looked dead serious. No way. You need a doctor for that kind of thing. Did you bring your health card? Seeing my mortified face, he hesitated, thinking how to put it. Then, gently patting my head, he said, Isabel, it's okay. Lots of people get hemorrhoids. With proper diet, rest, and treatment, it'll heal. I clenched my jaw and finally blurted, I lied. I made that up. I didn't think you'd actually believe me. Jason didn't look angry at all. His calm was saint-like. He just sighed in relief, walked back to the bed, and lay down. Then go back to sleep. It's almost dawn. The buttons on his shirt were still undone, and my eyes drifted to his bare chest, smooth, firm, and pale, dotted with faint red marks. My gaze dropped to myself in panic. Thankfully, aside from my jacket, my clothes were intact. Jason stared at me silently, saying nothing. Finally, I broke the tension. Mr. Smith, how much do I owe you? What? I mean for last night. How much? His expression froze, brows furrowing. Afraid he misunderstood, I rushed to clarify. I mean for defiling your innocence, how much? I even pointed to the hickeys on his chest. Great. That only made it worse. I should have just played dumb. Jason's lips twitched. He lifted 5 fingers and waved them lightly. My brain lagged. I thought he wanted a high five, so I slapped my palm against his. His hand completely swallowed mine. Jason raised a brow, wrapped his fingers around mine, lowered them, then lifted his other hand to signal again. Oh, a price. 500. Not bad. I mentally checked my account balance. I could manage that. No. 5 million. His low, gravelly voice brushed my ear. That expensive? Even a god isn't worth that much. Jason propped himself on one arm, lazily watching me. After a moment's thought, I let go of his hand, unbuttoned my collar, and lay back on the bed, resigned. Go ahead. He hesitated, then reached out. His fingers traced along my collarbone, slid behind my neck to hold me still, and then he bit down. It was just a light bite, leaving a faint mark on my skin. The rest of the installments, consider them paid off, along with your 1,800. Wait, so I'm basically your chew toy for 5 years. Go to sleep. I'll take you home later. I huffed and turned my back to him, refusing to look. Jason was the perfect embodiment of a capitalist people like him, knew how to exploit a situation and never took a loss. My debt was like a snowball, growing bigger and bigger. 4 hours later, I was at my desk, sucking on a straw of soy milk with a long sigh. Well, if it isn't Mr. Smith's girlfriend herself. What kind of job so cushy you need the boss to check on you personally? I didn't even look up. Just from that grating tone, I knew it was Jessica, the office gossip. She was like a toad that tasted a bit of seawater and fancied herself a mermaid. She's gotten real full of herself lately. Doesn't even talk to us anymore. Who knows what trick she pulled to make Mr. Smith notice her. Anna cut in first. Enough, Jessica. Drop it. Jessica jumped up, indignant. Why should I? If she dares to do it, why can't I talk about it? That did it. I grabbed my steaming soy milk and stormed over, ready to splash it in her face. You think you know something? You're lucky I haven't slapped you yet. You've got nothing going for you except that mouth. Seeing I wasn't joking, Jessica forced a laugh. Haha, I was just kidding. Don't take it so seriously. Do you think you're funny? She quietly reached over, snapped the lid back onto my soy milk, and nudged it toward me. If you don't think it's funny, I'll stop. I shot her one last glare. You'd better learn to keep that mouth shut. Damn, Belle, you're savage. I've been waiting for someone to put her in her place. It was bound to happen. But Jessica's an old hand here. Longest tenure in the department. Aren't you worried? Whatever. I was planning to leave soon anyway. Right. You're Mr. Smith's girlfriend. You won't be here long. Who said I'm with him? You literally called him hubby last night and asked him to hold you. Everyone was talking about it after you left. Well, that explains it. I don't remember a thing. But seriously, it's not like that, remember? I burned his coat at the temple. He's probably just worried I'll skip out on the debt. Yeah, right. The way he looks at you, he's into you. Definitely. Oh? Chatting during work hours? Before I could finish typing, Jason's hand came down hard on the back of my head. What's worse than getting caught slacking off by your boss? When the boss you're gossiping about is the one catching you. I instantly closed my chat with Anna, flipped my phone face down, and started rubbing the sore spot on my head. Jason raised an eyebrow, glanced at my screen, then looked away, expression unreadable. Before leaving, he said coolly, "Come to my office. Now." After stalling as long as I could, tidying my desk pointlessly, I dragged myself toward his office. This time I didn't even bother knocking, just pushed the door open. "Mr. Smith, we need to talk." He paused his typing and looked up at me. "I still owe you 106,200 yuan and a bunch of bytes." My voice trailed off at the end. "Even if you're my creditor, you're still my boss here. Calling an employee into your office all the time looks bad. Everyone's gossiping about us." Jason smiled faintly. "Gossiping about what exactly?" "Oh, playing dumb now. About things that look bad. Okay? But I don't mind. Who cares what you think? I do." The words were barely out before I noticed the smile fade from his face. His eyes dimmed, hurt flickering in them. He looked defeated. I panicked, reaching up to cover his eyes. Hey, don't look at me like that. You're making it seem like I used you and dumped you." He lowered his head suddenly. "Isn't that what happened?" That threw me. I racked my brain but couldn't think of anyone who matched him. "See? You forgot already. You used to call me brother, remember? All sweet and soft. Look, I'm really sorry about ruining your jacket at the temple, but I swear I don't know you." Jason didn't argue. Instead, he pulled out his phone and handed it to me. I stared at the screenshots of old chat logs in silence. "So, memory coming back now, you heartless girl?" Question. Does an online fling even count? Dead memories started attacking my brain, dragging me back to that ridiculous time. Toward graduation, our teachers' college and the neighboring C University hosted a one-week lovers mixer. I hadn't planned to go, but my roommate happened to be the organizer. To fill up the numbers, she roped in the only single one left in the dorm me. "Belle, I'll set you up with the hottest guy there. If it works out, you're buying me dinner." "I want someone quiet. Mute would be perfect." That's what I said. I don't know what was wrong with Cindy, but she matched me with the clingiest chatterbox alive. Worse, the event required couples to rack up over 99 chat messages every day, which meant every time he texted, I had to reply to hit quota. "What are you doing?" "Eating." "Now." "Still eating." "Now." "Eating." "Now." "Food." "Now." And then, finished eating. Back to the dorm. Cindy saw our chat and nearly died laughing. "I can tell he's trying, but Isabel, you're hopelessly straight." "Hey, I tried. Look, every reply on time, every question answered. I'm basically the ideal girlfriend." Cindy laughed even harder. "Sure, if robots count as girlfriends. So, as the dorm's only relationship newbie, I got a crash course in flirting that night. My progress was dramatic, like cramming for finals. Brother, have you eaten yet? Why didn't you reply? Brother, Belle misses you, wants to play hide and seek on your abs. Are you mad at Belle? Belle's sorry. She'll say goodnight on time from now on. My boyfriend, who usually replied instantly, stayed silent for 5 whole minutes. I held up my phone to Cindy, puzzled. Master, what's wrong with this? Why isn't he answering? She sighed deeply and waved me off. Go, and don't tell anyone I trained you. I said act sweet, not brainless. Weird. I thought it was pretty sweet. I'd use double words and cute emojis. How could it go wrong? I waited and waited until finally, brother replied, Little sister, I was on stage giving a presentation. Thanks to you, the whole class now knows I've got a clingy girlfriend. Kill me now. I'd embarrassed myself all the way to C University. I flopped onto my bed, shut my eyes, and prayed for eternal sleep. I couldn't even bring myself to reply. Whatever, tomorrow was the last day of the event anyway. That night, just as I was dozing off, his call came through. When I answered, he didn't speak right away. For a while, it was just our breathing. I suddenly remembered Cindy's repeated advice, so I tried softening my voice. Good evening, brother. He chuckled lowly. Belle, little sister? It was the first time I'd heard his voice, and it was unexpectedly deep and magnetic, sending little tingles down my spine. I'm here, he said. Did you catch a cold? What? I just nearly sprained my vocal cords to sound cute, and he thought I was sick. I cleared my throat and answered normally. No. What's up? The contrast must have startled him. He paused before saying, We haven't met yet. How about dinner tomorrow? Sure, then see you tomorrow. Good night. Good night. Holy crap, he asked me out. What should I wear? A dress? Hopefully this isn't one of those scams. But the next day, turns out I'd worried for nothing. He never showed. We'd agreed to meet at a hot pot place near campus. It was packed during dinner rush. People coming and going. But I'd reserved a nice corner table by the window, well lit and airy. I waited and waited, my nerves fading into numb calm. After more than an hour, the server came by for the 3rd time, and that's when I finally accepted it. I'd been stood up. He wasn't coming. C University was right next door. At the time he said he'd leave, he could have crawled here by now. Looking at the chat history frozen 2 hours ago, a dull ache spread through my chest. Maybe he had shown up, taken one look at me, and run. I sent him a message just to be sure. No red exclamation mark it went through. So that wasn't it. No matter how I turned it over in my head, I couldn't make sense of it. The meal for 2 sat untouched. There was no way I could finish it alone. I forced down a few bites, cancelled most of the dishes, and hurried out of the hot pot restaurant. On the way back, I couldn't resist calling him. Sitting quietly on the edge of a flower bed, I listened to the ringtone. Just as it was about to stop, someone picked up. A girl's voice, sweet and pleasant. Hello, who's this? I froze and said nothing. Hello? Somehow, instinct told me this must be his girlfriend. I'm looking for the owner of this WeChat account. Oh, him? He's a bit unavailable right now. I'll tell him to call you back later, okay? Unavailable or unwilling. No need, sorry. But then it hit me. This poor girl probably had no idea her boyfriend was secretly flirting online. Holding back tears, I said softly, Girl, open your eyes and run while you can. Huh? She sounded confused. But even if she didn't believe me, there was nothing more I could do. I hung up quickly. The second I did, my nose stung and tears spilled over uncontrollably. Wiping them away, I deleted every single trace of him from my phone. He already had such a gentle girlfriend, yet he still went looking for side flings. Scumbag. Bastard. Hope you get hit by a bus. Dating is a blood sport. Not everyone's built for it. It had only been 7 days, but the aftermath hit hard. I was supposed to fly back to Haicheng today, but I'd changed to a red-eye flight just to have dinner with him. Seeing how early it still was, I washed my face, grabbed my suitcase, and stormed out of the dorm. On the ride to the airport, I cried again, nearly scared the driver to death. Maybe it was for the best. Cutting losses early before feelings got too deep. That short-lived online romance became nothing more than a blip in my life. Once I was back in Haicheng, work kept me too busy to feel sad. When the weekend finally came, I just wanted to relax and play some games. But I'd overlooked one tiny detail. I'd forgotten to delete him from my friends list. Slow joined my game instantly. Since we'd been bound as an in-game couple, he could enter my room directly. I kicked him out as fast as I could, but a second later he rejoined. Before I could boot him again, he turned on his mic. "Belle, wait a second." My finger hovered over the exit. 10 seconds. I'm really sorry about that night. It all happened so fast, I didn't have time to react. Oh? What happened? Your girlfriend caught you? About that dinner. I can explain. I got into a car accident on my way there. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. I lost consciousness from the impact, and only woke up in the hospital. By then, you'd already blocked me. Okay. I tried to reach you after, but couldn't. Do I look like I was born yesterday? I'm telling the truth. Sure. Anyway, don't forget to unlink our account. Be good to your girlfriend. I wasn't about to listen to any more of his nonsense. After quitting the game, I sent him a request to dissolve the in-game relationship, but he rejected it. Oh really? Challenge accepted. I deleted him entirely. Problem solved. Later, while scrolling, I saw his new photos. Him in a cast, hospital wristband, even a doctor's note. So it was real, huh? The accident? Guess he's recovering well. Jason stood up silently and pressed the switch beside the glass door, locking it with a soft click. Ja, Jason. If there's nothing else, I'll just, get going. He took one step, then another, closing the distance. I kept backing up until I hit the wall. No more space to retreat. I put a hand against his chest, swallowing hard. Mr. Smith, please, think rationally. This is the office. Jason raised a brow. So, if it weren't the office, it'd be fine. He grabbed my wrist and pulled me close, trapping me between his body and the desk. He didn't move further, just stared down at me. His gaze was intense, predatory, sending goosebumps racing up my arms. Trying to stay calm, I rubbed the small of my back where it pressed into the desk. Can I, defend myself? I mean, explain. He tilted his head slightly. Go on. I waited for you at the restaurant for ages. When I finally called, a girl answered, anyone would misunderstand. And besides, it was just an online thing, we'd never even met. Jason's hand slid behind me, wrapped around my waist, and pulled me forward, his palm covering the sharp corner of the desk. So you told her to dump me? No, I just told her to run while she could. What's the difference? None. Jason finally smiled, though there was a trace of helplessness in it. She's my academic advisor. Oh, perfect. I'd just told his advisor to dump him. But wait, if we'd never met, how did you know what I look like? Isabel, that 1 week Lovers Mixer was sponsored by Smith Group. My heart skipped a beat. I asked carefully, You liked me back then? Something like that. Love at first sight on campus? But we didn't even go to the same school. He sighed and lightly flicked my head. Isabel, liking you was never a spur-of-the-moment thing. I blinked at him, dumbfounded. But I really don't remember you. Jason slowly loosened his hold on me, his face going expressionless. His voice dropped low and cold. Forget it. You can keep the money. I won't bother you again. I'd never seen Jason so serious before. That flat, icy tone actually scared me a little. I slipped out of the office and shut the door behind me. Back home, I messaged my best friend Julia. "Babe, you there?" She called instantly. "What happened? Do you know a guy named Jason?" Rings a bell. "Who?" "That straighter guy from our middle school honors class you forgot." "Honors class? I wasn't even in the same class as you." "Isabel, you goldfish brain. You used to chase him around for his QQ number and even brought him breakfast for a week. You got hauled into the discipline office for it. Remember?" "Ugh, true. But come on. I had a crush on half the boys back then." "You called that a crush? Please. You were collecting handsome contacts like Pokemon." Yeah, says the one who's still single. "Anyway, why bring him up?" "If I recall, he skipped the entrance exam, got straight into the top high school." Tsk. "He's the guy I told you about, the one from that online dating fiasco." "What? He's that kind of guy?" "Not exactly. Turns out that girl was his advisor." I misunderstood. "Oh, then that's actually good. Maybe you two should give it a shot. He sponsored that event apparently for me. Even better, shoot your shot." "He's also the one whose coat I burned, the 108,000 guy." "Hold up. I'm awake now. Based on my years of experience, I'd say he planned all of this." "Julia, he's also my boss. And I think I made him mad today. He told me to forget the debt." "Then you're fine. Next time, lead with that." Personally, I don't recommend office romances. But if you're set on it, I'll back you up. You make it sound easy. Maybe Jason's not that hard to win over. I'll try being cute. Maybe it'll work. After hanging up, I asked my mum to dig out my old middle school graduation photo. There, behind me, stood Jason in the same uniform. Haicheng Middle's graduation photos were panoramic, the whole grade arranged in a half circle. He stood half a head taller than everyone else, easy to spot. I remembered chatting with a girl in that spot back then. But no matter what, Jason shouldn't have been standing there. For more than a week, I didn't see Jason at the company. The WeChat message I'd sent that night went unanswered. The sudden emptiness hit hard. I realized that if Jason didn't want to see me, I truly had no way of finding him. I slumped onto my desk, turning my head to meet Anna's concerned gaze. "Belle, what's wrong?" "Anna, do you know where Mr. Smith's been lately?" She shook her head, walked over, and patted my shoulder silently. Then Jessica sashayed over. "Mr. Smith went to the US on a business trip with manager Olivia. Didn't he tell you?" "Well, she's gorgeous and brilliant. Guess he didn't want you overthinking." "Shut up!" Jessica, afraid I'd blow up again, pouted and slunk away. I could only believe half of what Jessica said. The first half was probably true. Maybe he'd left the country because he was mad at me? No way. I wasn't that important. Still, going abroad wasn't the same as dying, and ignoring me was definitely deliberate. It was driving me crazy. I switched positions, propped my cheek on the other hand, and kept slumping at my desk. "Belle, can you come to the meeting room?" Emily poked her head out from next door and waved me over. "Oh." I unplugged my charger and carried my half-charged phone inside. "Belle, have you really thought this through? You're sure you want to leave?" "Yeah. Smith Group is a great company, and honestly, you're one of the smartest people I've mentored. You've got huge potential. Thank you for saying that, Emily. But I've already made up my mind." "What a pity. Well, I won't try to stop you. You'll probably finish the exit process tomorrow. Tonight, just organize your handover notes." "Got it." The one time I stayed late was to write handover documents. "Still here, kid?" "Uncle, wait for me. I'll shut down the computer and walk out with you." On the whole floor, mine was the only desk still lit, which was kind of creepy. Luckily, the security guard came up, or I really might have stayed till morning. I packed up all my snacks into a bag and handed it to him. "Uncle, I'm leaving tomorrow. These are for you. He didn't refuse, just looked surprised. Leaving tomorrow and still working overtime tonight? I waved it off. Can't help it. Gotta finish working for the boss. Be careful on the way home. Will do. Go on back inside, Uncle. He walked behind me with his flashlight until I got into my rideshare, only turning back once the car pulled away. I was reluctant to leave Smith Group, but I had no choice. My sister only wanted to bake bread, so the burden of taking over the family company fell squarely on me. On my last day at work, I did something unprecedented. I showed up late, maybe on purpose. After all, I'd never been late before. By then, everyone already knew I was quitting. But by the time the rumor reached me, it had twisted into Jason got tired of her, found someone new, and kicked her out. I hadn't even swallowed my breakfast crepe when Jason came striding up and grabbed my arm. Jason, wait, I haven't even put my bag down. No time. He didn't give me a second to react, just dragged me straight into his private elevator. When he finally let go, he stared at me. Aren't you going to explain? Huh? I'm leaving anyway. Can't I at least finish my crepe first? Why are you leaving? I hesitated, then lied. Because you haven't replied to any of my messages. You've been ignoring me. And I got mad. His expression shifted, and without a word he took my hand and led me toward his office. Mr. Smith, don't you have a flight tonight? If I hadn't come, my wife would have run off. Jason didn't stop walking. He led me straight into his office and slammed the door shut. He looked tired. Are you leaving Haicheng? I didn't answer. He sighed, tightened his arm around my waist, and pulled me into his chest. His warm breath brushed the back of my ear as he murmured, Isabel, I'm easy to please. Give me just a little sweetness, and I can hold on a bit longer. Hold on for what? Liking you. I gave him a light shove, and he froze. Then, slowly, he let go. For the first time, I saw a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. I stuffed the crepe into my bag, tossed it aside, and threw myself into his arms, burying my face in his coat. Jason, let's give it a try. Seriously this time. He seemed almost in disbelief, the hand on my back trembling slightly. No, I really, really like you. Jason's fingers slid up my cheek, pausing at my chin. He brushed it lightly, his gaze locked on my lips. As his face drew closer, I suddenly pushed him away. Caught off guard, Jason fell to the floor. Sorry, I can't do it right now. My mouth's all greasy. He gave me the most pitiful look as I wiped my mouth with a napkin and spritzed peach-flavored breath spray several times. Okay, now. Just as Jason leaned in again, I stopped him. Wait, I've got a fruit candy in my bag. I'm nervous about my first kiss. It's not your first. What? I unwrapped the candy, popped it into my mouth, and looked up. Nothing. Wait. Now what? I think my hair's messy. Too late. His kiss came fast, urgent. The pineapple candy rolled between our tongues, then back again. For a moment, the whole world tasted like sweet pineapple. Don't leave. I'll give you a raise. His voice was low between kisses. I blinked hazily. No way. I've got to go home and inherit the family business, become a rich lady. Then let me be your kept man. That I can work with.